Hull Kingston Rovers are third in the Engage Super League table, and that's where they want to stay. It'd give them a fantastic platform for an Old Trafford bid. Warrington, well, will they be lifted or fatigued after Wembley? Leeds probably now can't be shifted from the top of the table. Their points difference means it's virtually a 3-point lead over St Helens. Hull KR and Huddersfield continue to dispute third and fourth. Wigan and Wakefield contest fifth and sixth. Catalan Dragons and Castleford can't afford a slip, because behind them Harlequins and Warrington lie in wait. Hull's faint dream is now over. Bradford mathematically can still make it. This is the way the teams line up here at Craven Park. Rovers have got Briscoe at full-back, then it's Fox, Webster, Wellham and Colbon. Cook is alongside Dobson. The forwards, Vella, who is the captain, Fitzhenry and Wheeldon, Newton, Walker and Morell. And the bench, it's Fozzard, Gallia, Netherton and Cockayne. The coach is Justin Morgan. For Warrington, a slightly rejigged approach tonight because of the rigours of Wembley. Mathers at full-back, Hicks, Anderson in the centres alongside Blythe, with Riley on the other wing. It's Breers and Monaghan. Forwards, Morley, Hyam and Carbell, Louis Anderson, Westwood and Harrison. And on the bench, Rauhihi, Cooper, Mitchell and Tyrone McCarthy. And the coach is Tony Smith. So back to Super League for Warrington Wolves. Still on cloud nine following their win last Saturday, but they're ninth in Super League. This really is do or die for their playoff bid. I'm afraid to say that for them, Super League form has flown out of the window, but not for Hull Kingston Rovers, who haven't enjoyed a season like this for a quarter of a century. They arrive here on the back of a 4-match winning sequence. They are third in the table, and it'll be their best finish to a Super League campaign and a league campaign for 24 years when they topped the old First Division in 1984-85 to claim the title for those fans under Roger Millwood. Match referee is Richard Silverwood. He's all ready, so is the crowd, so are the players, and so are we. And it's going to be Lee Breers who will get this game in motion. And how will Warrington scrub up after last Saturday and after the inevitable celebrations that followed? We shall see over the next 80 minutes. Dobson's underneath the kick-off, and here comes the first challenge. And inevitably leading the race was Adrian Morley. He missed him, but Gareth Carvell didn't.
Well, you'd expect that Warrington will try to get points on the board pretty early, try to just upset the home side. Another coach, Justin Morgan, will realise that the Rovers cannot take them lightly. Just got to push the fact that they would have celebrated after the Wembley win, the Warrington Wolves, but there's still so much talent out there, and I'm really looking forward to the clash between the two halfbacks, Michael Dobson and Michael Monaghan, tonight.
Eddie, I don't think it's the celebrating that is the problem. It's the emotional energy that you've spent in getting to the final, having played in such an event. That's the biggest challenge here, getting yourself back up after that.
Clear.
The kick downfield is picked up by Chris Riley. That was a big challenge, and was it high? Well, it was Clint Newton, I think, who got to Riley. It's a knock-on, says the referee Richard Silverwood.
Well, Newton really went into him, and no, it was the impact with the shoulder. The arm eventually went up, but the first impact was... And it looked as though this is a knock-on here. Now, it's deemed that Riley, in losing possession, normally any referee will say that if you lose possession in the tackle...
Sorry, mate. Do you not think he makes contact with the face here, with the first point of contact going into this tackle?
I think the first point of contact is from the shoulder, and then obviously that bit there when he's trying to get him to the ground. But it's in response to the force of the impact, Phil.
He certainly brought the left arm, there's no doubt about that. And according to the official Richard Silverwood, and it appears that Riley's okay, which is good.
Well, he was badly concussed in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, if you may remember. Hull Kingston Rovers have the head and feed at the scrum as a result of that ferocious challenge by Newton on Riley. So they have a great opportunity here. This is Vella driving it up the middle. They will obviously try and out-muscle Warrington. They will really try and be physical in the approach to this match tonight. The ball from Paul Cook is not the best. It eventually finds its way out to that far side and finds Peter Fox. Here is Scott Wheeldon. Big hit by Adrian Morley.
Interesting to see how Morley shapes up after last week. He really got through a lot of work. Well, obviously, Justin Morgan, the Rovers coach, has said, let's keep the ball alive, try to run Warrington off their feet. It's not a back tactic, but some of the... oh, that's it, the referee put the scrum down. Oh, it was on the last, so it'll be the turnover.
Richard Silverwood just couldn't get out of the way. That kick bulleted towards him. The turnover, so here come Warrington. First chance for them.
Good shot, he tried his best, didn't he, Silverwood? Not as nimble as he was many years ago, perhaps.
Louis Anderson sporting a full beard these days. Monaghan was the dummy half. Here goes Carvel. Vella is after him. Fitzhenry is there. Wielden is there, but Carvel, the former Hull prop, who's sure to get a fairly vociferous reception from the Rovers supporters here tonight. He managed to keep going. This is Louis Anderson. This is Vinnie Anderson. The pass to Morley, watched all the way.
Pretty important aspect is the man there at dummy half, Mickey Hyam. He'll be expecting to have a big game. Tony Smith, their coach, is that a good kick? No, a bit too long.
Out on the fall from Lee Breers.
Raises the arm, acknowledges the fact he's come up with the error. Well left by Fox.
I think he might have got a call from his teammates. Lee Breers, first winner's medal for him in 12 years at Warrington last week. This is Wielden again for Rovers.
Well, he's got good memories, hasn't he, Lee Breers? Remember the drop goal he slotted over?
Yes, last week and actually here as well in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, which was the difference between Warrington and Hull Kingston Rovers moving forward. This is Dobson. Good work, good harassing by Louis Anderson and Mickey Hyam. Fitzhenry and Vella again. So far, Warrington's defence and their tackling's been pretty secure. This is the last tackle for Rovers. And Morel will hoist the kick. Mathers is underneath this. It's swirling all over the place, though. Mathers flecks it. And Newton, it's a good tackle.
He did well with fullback Richard Mathers there. Took it, just had a quick look, could see that the charging towards him.
Eddie, we're having a look at Warrington's enthusiasm and their energy, and you're right. It was a big game for them last week, and to some extent, it's not always the week after the big event, it's the week after that. Their adrenaline will still be flowing, they'll still be buzzing, they'll have had a great week's training. As Hulkie argued the penalty away, Chev Walker. They'll have had a good week's training, they'll have been happy to see one another. And again, with Ben Westwood here, you can see how keen he is to get up, and I think you'll see a good performance from Warrington this week. Next week, it might be a different case.
We'll see. 5 minutes on the watch. And here is Hyam. Now it's with Morley. And Morley will drive it forward.
Move, Mick! Hold. Go.
Hyam finds Carvel. And Carvel takes it over the 40-metre line.
Move!
Vital match this for Warrington. If they lose here, they're really going to struggle to make it into the playoffs. That's a great ball from Breers. Here's the first try from Mickey Hyam. Mickey Hyam right under the posts. Substitute last week, he missed the previous 11. This is his first Super League appearance since the 6th of June. And Mickey Hyam comes up with his 5th try of the campaign. And a great start for the Warrington Wolves. This is a shock for Hull KR.
Certainly is. They've taken him easy, haven't they? It was a great dummy, good step, great support. That's what hookers are all about. They've got to read the play exceptionally well. But this is not good defence. You can see there, Vella was just tressing across. You've got to make sure that you're up for this. They came here as the underdogs, this outfit. And I mentioned earlier that he would play a key part in this game. That was tremendous, though, from Breers. Through the dummy, dipped the shoulder, made it way through. And this fella, Hyam, gets the first points on the board. It's a shock.
And Lee Breers is kicking. He hasn't kicked since 2008. It's been Bridge and Hicks with those responsibilities this season. And Breers, though, from bang in front, makes no mistake. And the Warrington Wolves are ahead by 6 points to 0. Breers, the creator of the try, with a beautiful pass on the inside to Hyam. And it's Warrington who lead.
Well, you can see there that Vella has got to fill that gap in. just too late. You can see he was off balance. No chance of stopping Breers. That was a fine try.
Dobson's kick-off, Morley's underneath it, and Adrian Morley will run this ball back. Morley, of course, who has won grand finals on both sides of the world in the NRL, with the Roosters and with the Bradford Bulls when he was appearing as a lone player.
Surrender!
So he will be as keen as mustard to maintain Warrington's successful end to the season and get them to at least a playoff place. They're 2 points off the pace at the moment. Catalan Dragons playing Wakefield tonight. Castleford and Harlequins have an argument to settle tomorrow, but Warrington finish with a home game against the Harlequins next week. And Castleford will play Celtic Crusaders next week, so it's a massive game, a massive weekend this.
Well, how often do we see this?
Second effort.
Westwood giving away a silly penalty, trying to keep him down. Full credit, though, our special guest last night, Tony Smith, of course. He made it quite clear that they were going to be firing on all cylinders. They want to make the top 8.
Surrender!
They want to make it to Old Trafford. We pointed out to him in Super League extra time, 6 wins. He wins the grand final. They win the double. This is Briscoe. There's a bit of a hole here. Webster will cut back inside. The defence has melted away. Rovers respond. Well, 4 players were in 2 minds then. And Webster, he's a quality player, and he's got to try in each of his last 2 home games against Hull and St Helens. The New Zealand international comes up with the try that, with the kick to come from Michael Dobson, could easily level the scores.
Well, that was a ploy that Justin Morgan, the Rovers coach, would have been looking for. Westwood, yet again, gives away the penalty, puts them in a position, and the home side made good use of it as well. Little run around, came late, didn't he? Sean Briscoe, he's had a fine season. Back on the inside, just a little shimmy and a dummy, and Webster went through an enormous gap.
So Michael Dobson with the opportunity, 43rd consecutive appearance for Dobson in 13 months. He's got 89 two-point goals so far this season. This for 90, just gets inside the upright. It's 6 apiece. Michael Dobson got club records, most points in the game, 24, most goals in the game, 7, most tries in the game, 4.
And there you can see how the defence has been pulled in, and the way that Briscoe came on the angle, it allowed them to get the pass away. It was a simple step and the swerve, wasn't it? Beautiful stuff. Great response from this fella.
25-year-old Jake Webster, 9 times a Kiwi international. Breers will restart for the Warrington Wolves. Morell was underneath the kick-off, and Carvel again leading the chase to bring Scotty Wheeldon down. Here's Chev Walker.
2. You got that. Move. Ball.
Mickey Hyam.
Go.
He will be relishing the opportunity to play in the side from the start. He's been out for such a long time. Remarkable, really, when you consider that Mickey Hyam went 3 full seasons at Wigan and never missed a game.
Well, Hull Kingston Rovers, going back to those, they've been consistent performers this year, partly because they've had consistent selection. The 4 ever-present players, one of them there, Newton just running the ball strongly, Dobson, Galea and Wellham also featured in all the games from this year. And that consistency of selection really has carried through to the way they've played. The back line for the last month or so has almost been exactly the same. Players getting to know exactly their role in the side, the players around them, the strengths and weaknesses, and how to really combine as a team and maximise their efforts.
Yes, they've had a truly remarkable season, Hull KR. This is Gareth Carvel. And Justin Morgan actually said, didn't he, before a whistle was blown and a ball was kicked this year, that he really did believe he had a squad here that could get to Old Trafford. Well, they're 3rd in the table at the moment, and what an opportunity for him to take them all the way in the playoffs. Not many people would relish coming here in that playoff series.
You're right there, Eddie, and I must say that tonight is a night where they've got to give themselves confidence. Never mind putting in a show for their home fans. They've got to make sure, get it into their brain box, that they have got the ability to do that. That's good work.
Ben Harrison, though, was fed by Ben Westwood. The kick, though, is a little aimless, and Liam Colbon is able to pick that up quite easily. Just lost their way a little bit there, Warrington, on the last tackle. So Colbon will play the ball here to Dobson. That's another good drive from Jake Webster, the try scorer. He's trying to take a bit of the heat out
he's
of
got a problem.
Carvel and Co. He has. Looks like he might have turned an ankle. We'll try and run it off. The physio immediately on the field to look at him. This meanwhile, Briscoe. 4 tries for the full-back in his last 3 appearances. And Vella, such an important member of this Rovers team.
Gets through a lot of work, doesn't he, the skipper? That is for short.
Okay.
Not the best kick from Dobson.
No.
Mathers will run it back. Mathers revitalised under Tony Smith. It's his 4th club in as many years. But Tony Smith, of course, had him at the Leeds Rhinos. That seemed to bounce forward, but the referee says play on. Riley goes down. It seemed to come off the hand of Vinnie Anderson, but the referee thought otherwise. This is Louis Anderson. Now it's Morley. Great run from Morley, halted by Vella low down and Newton upstairs. He'll play it to Monaghan, Breers and Ben Harrison. All wrapped up by Chev Walker. No movement forward for Warrington then. Plenty of lateral movement, but nothing in a forward motion, and Harrison is hurt. That's Ben Westwood, pulled down by Daniel Fitzhenry.
Could have been penalised there at a second goal. That's played the man.
I think he might have got a charge down anyway from Morel.
Either way, Richard Fieldwood got it absolutely spot on.
I think there's a major problem for Ben Harrison.
Yeah, he's having treatment in back play. He'll try to... No, it looks as though he's gone. Well, that's a bit of blow for the Warrington outfit. Tony Smith will have to reshuffle slightly. Oh, shocking pass. Got away with it.
They did. Hits Newton again. Riley gets to him. Webster is the dummy half. Wielden.
The use of 2 forwards, there's Harrison in a lot of trouble. The use of 2 forwards by the Rovers is one good thing, but they really have to start getting it well away from the ruck as quickly as possible, and that's a fine kick.
It is. It means that Chris Hicks has to pick it up right close to his own line. And a big hit from Morel. And then he's finished off by Webster. Hicks plays it here. And Anderson tries to move the ball forward once again. Untidy play the ball. Riley. And Tyrone McCarthy's on the field. He only made his Super League debut 2 weeks ago. And the young man is a Wembley winner. It's incredible. There are some players who never get to play there in a long and illustrious career. But McCarthy, 3 games. And he's got a little bit of silverware already. And a glittering career ahead of him, according to Tony Smith.
Well, no. Wide open. Grapple tackle. Silly play when in a period where it looked as though Rovers, after the shaky start, it was a good try by Hyam. Breers made the break, of course, but give away a penalty at that point.
Nick Fossard's on in place of Mick Vella, who takes a breather, and there is Fossard right in the thick of the action, with the arms heavily bandaged, of course, traditionally. The pass finds its way to Riley. Riley cuts back in field, looking for the opening. Breers just held up by Chev Walker. That was Hyam. This is Monaghan. Great ball to Tyrone McCarthy. No way forward though for the 21-year-old. He goes down on tackle number 3.
He got back well there to the centre. Chris Wellham looks as though he's got it. Oh, it looks to be more problem for a Warrington player there.
Full ball to Breers, but he gets it. A nice shift looking for Riley. Oh, and the ball bounced.
Wow, that was so close.
Liam Colbon to the rescue for Hull KR.
Great thinker, isn't he, this fella, Lee Breers. Got him on the hop. Look at the bounce, just did not go the Wolves' way. There was no one in front of Riley, and he can't believe it, the winger. Good job that Colbon got there eventually. He was way out of position.
Chris Riley's got a try in each of his last 2 in Super League. Meanwhile, Clint Newton needing some running repairs as well. That's why there's a slight delay, because Newton went limp his way back behind his own goal line for this dropout from Michael Dobson. Referee calls time back on. Dobson Left-footed, straight into the arms of Breers, who gives it to Morley. Morley comes forward, halted by Morel. Hyan.
Ooh, that looked a bit high as well. Some swinging arms going out there. Fozzard certainly had the left arm up.
Mathers, good ball wide. This is Chris Hicks. Wellham is just shrugged off by Hicks. Great strength. Still going. Fitzhenry all over him. And in the end, Briscoe to the rescue.
Dive in. Go.
Hyam again. Here is Breers. Great pressure here from Warrington. Tyrone McCarthy will score. First try for Warrington. Fourth appearance for Warrington. Remarkable story. Remarkable for Tyrone McCarthy over the past week or so. Got the nod to play in the cup final. Picked up a medal. That was last Saturday. Today, a week later, picks up his first of what will, I'm sure, be many tries in the Super League.
Well, the defence was all at sea. Look at that. Two of them went very, very high on McCarthy, and they are paid a high price, I can tell you that. That is a great effort. But this is the pass slightly. Could it have been forward? Either way, don't take anything away from Tyrone McCarthy. He put himself in a good position, but Justin Morgan will be furious. Two players in attendance, they both went high.
Breers has had two very easy kicks from bang in front on his comeback to kicking duties. Warrington lead 12-6.
I think that pass looked slightly forward because Lee Breers actually looked behind. It's a skill and a very difficult skill to look one way and pass the other, but Tyrone McCarthy, hasn't he had a very, very fruitful couple of weeks?
Hasn't he just? Let's go down to the sideline. Rod Studd with injury news for us.
Yeah, the doctor's diagnosis on Ben Harrison, Eddie, is a pulled hip muscle, but it's not serious, and they're certainly not ruling him out of coming back into this game later on. So he's getting some treatment in the changing room and not ruled out for the rest of the afternoon.
Looked a lot more serious than it was, but there it is.
Go.
Obviously, it was like a bit of a wishbone, wasn't he, in that tackle there?
Hold. Go.
We talked about chicken wing tackling last night. What would you call that one, Steve-O?
Well, you just said it, wishbone.
3.
Wishbone.
Move.
Okay, drumsticks, call it, what do you know?
Go.
I don't know. You call it a wishbone.
Move.
Wishbone. Did
Away.
I? Yeah,
Go.
all right. Monaghan and Breers just outside the 40.
Clear.
And Colbon is there anyway. Good chase.
1.
Big hit by Vinnie Anderson.
Do you know, that was a superb response, wasn't it, from this Warrington outfit? At a time where, you know, oh, that looked high, and he's caught it as well as Richard Silverwood. Well, it's getting a bit tasty out there. He gets himself a try and then tries to take the fullback's head off. All a learning curve.
You've got to feel sorry for Sean Briscoe. He's one of the nicest guys in rugby league and has a nasty habit of stopping forearms with his nose.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest.
But he's a tremendous fullback, isn't he? A lot of people believe he's the best fullback in Super League at the moment, but Paul Wellens, he had a great game for St Helens, albeit in defeat last night. Brent Webb isn't too poor either, is he?
2.
Well, for the first time for a long time, I agree with you, Eddie. I think he's been superb. There's Sean Briscoe.
3.
And it's a penalty for working the player on the ground.
He's down and then you've turned him all the way around. His arms on the floor.
Surely they won't bother with the two. They really want to get back into it here. Either a quick tap is what they're contemplating.
They go for the tap, and Wielden drives it in. That could have been another one against Morley.
Well, they gave him a facial, but it is rugby league.
Dobson finds Briscoe.
Ooh.
2.
That was a dangerous play.
Hold.
Anderson did not miss.
He's done it again, Briscoe.
Go.
Fitzhenry to Dobson. Misses out one and finds Paul Cook. Oh, Paul Cook has drifted through them. Paul Cook gets the Rovers' second try. I was just thinking to myself, he's been a bit quiet, Paul Cook, but he goes in and out of a match, doesn't he? Briscoe is still struggling after the challenge, but Paul Cook, who got a couple of tries when our cameras were last here against Hull in July. They won that day by 24 points to 18. And with Dobson's kick to come, he's given his team a chance of levelling the scores again.
Well, given the importance of this match, the defence is not all that brilliant. It was an easy fend by Cook, right on the head of Ben Westwood, who went low early. Take nothing away from the fact that Cook's body threw the dummy, but that is a neat fend, isn't it? Right on the hairstyle, moved the quiff to one side and put the ball down.
Well, each time Warrington have scored, Rovers have responded within 3 minutes. And Paul Cook's try has done exactly that again. This is Michael Dobson once more, his second kick of the day. %78% success rate with the boot, but he's missed with that one. So it's 50-50 so far tonight. Hull KR 10, Warrington 12.
Well, the tactics now for the Wolves will be to slow things down. Not really go at it 100%, just try to get good field position. Utilisation of the kicking from Lee Breers. This is a replay again of Cook's wonderful ability. As Eddie already mentioned, we haven't seen much of him. Oh, that's too long.
Oh, it is. Kick-off from Breers sails out on the full. Penalty on halfway to Hull KR. It was very well judged by Ben Cockayne and company.
Surrender!
Might be quiet for a moment. Mr. Stevenson's being chased around the gantry by a wasp. And we know what happens when Steve-O gets stung by a wasp. This is Fitzhenry.
Well, I'm allergic to them, that's why.
You swell up even more, you're right. This is Briscoe.
Give over your big Jesse, sit down.
This is Chris Wellham. Oh, it's here again. It's Fozzard. Now Dobson. Dobson, oh, that ricocheted everywhere. And it's back to 0 in the tackle count. I don't know what you're hiding behind me for, Steve. I'm worse than you. This is Fitzhenry. This is Cockayne. Have you killed it?
Anything happened? Oh, it's back.
Come back.
Lost that.
It's the last time I wear this aftershave.
Is that what the smell is?
The wasp is here, somewhere, round here. The commentator's over here. Don't now stop hiding behind me.
Keep holding that 10. Yeah.
What a mess.
Stay in, Ben. I'll call you
If
out.
it lands on your chin, I'll hit it as hard as I can, Steve-O. I'll do that for you.
You beauty.
Do it for you and everybody in rugby league.
That's what I call mateship.
Right, shall we watch the game now? Oh, penalty here.
Scott, you've got to back across him.
That's silly play, really, isn't it?
Kick it on the mark.
You do all the hard work, get them way down in their own quarter, and then you just mess around at the play of the ball. We'll go for a second effort. You've done all the hard work. You've stopped the momentum.
Don't go across it, man, mate.
Mickey Hyam for Warrington. Here's Rauhihi. Must have been absolutely gutted to be omitted last week.
Go.
Hyam. Monaghan. Pops it up. Whoa, that's obstruction. McCarthy ran right in front of Vinnie Anderson then.
And Anderson, a big smile on his face because he knows perfectly well he gave himself up. You see more clearly, head on. And you're in the way, mate. Couldn't get out of the way.
Hold lads. Surrender! Go, one.
This is now Jason Netherton. He's been a substitute in the last 2 games as well. Dobson finds Newton. Good tackle by Monaghan.
Had to be as well. He read it superbly. Now, can they get a link way across on the left-hand side? No, that's good defence. They forced him into one out there.
On your line. On
When
your line.
one way came back on himself. Cockayne again. Finds Dobson. Fires the pass to Cook. Short ball then to Chev Walker. Westwood gets him.
Pass. 5, line.
Last
Go.
tackle. Cook wide. Oh, but no way that Peter Fox could take that one in.
Knocked on onto the Warrington man. Hand over.
Good work by Chris Hicks. Wasn't going to be sucked away from the whitewash, and you can see there as soon as the ball was coming towards the winger, no chance for Peter Fox on that occasion. Well, nearly 27 minutes up in this game, and Warrington still hold that 2-point lead, and I must say that the coach Tony Smith will be very, very happy with this.
Hull KR won't panic though, because if anything in the last few performances, they're developing a real patience, a patience that they will need when it gets to the playoffs. You know, against St Helens, they did it tough in the first half, clung on in there and scored just before half-time. Against Salford, they scored in the 5 minutes before the half-time, 5 minutes before the end of the match. They were the keys. They're prepared to go the distance, backing themselves with their stamina and their confidence, knowing that eventually they'll get there if they continue to do the things they're doing.
That's a nice chip over the top from Lee Breers. What's the bounce like? It's brilliant. Oh, I was going to say it's great. No, hang on. The referee has given a penalty to Warrington for offside.
No, I think it's using the shoulder obstruction.
Oh, it is obstruction, you're right.
Pushing the man away. Well, Cook's saying, well, hang on, we're running both in the same direction. You can utilise the shoulder.
Was it when Lee Breers kicked the ball? Just watch him here as he kicks it. He hits the deck.
Well, I think he's committed himself there. Well, not according to the man with the whistle. He's the boss. Good opportunity for the Wolves here.
This is Morley.
Move, Jason. Go.
This is Hyam trying to burrow his way over. And he's got the ball down there. It could be the second try of the day for Mickey Hyam.
Well, was he stopped? Was the momentum stopped? That's the major issue. Has he gone on a second go with the arm? If it's all in one go, that's fine. Is he stopped here? I think that's stopped.
His arm's not down though, Steve-O.
Well, he's certainly got the ground in. That's okay.
I think that's a try. That has to be a try, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're slowing it down slightly here as well, don't forget. You're entitled to wriggle and wrestle. The referee hasn't called held.
Well, a ball-carrying arm has not hit the deck, so therefore, I agree with you fellas. But there's a stoppage there. Oh, it's a big one for Phil Bentham.
Well, Mickey Hyam, he thinks he might have scored his second try here. You're right. Momentum is stopped there, and then it continues on, but the ball-carrying arm has not hit the ground.
Daniel Fitzhenry just drops off the tackle too quickly.
But as it stopped, it's a difficult one for the video referee. But it'd be a wonderful boost for the visitors. Warrington will be very happy with this if he gets the affirmative, the TRY.
Phil Bentham disallows the try.
He's classified it as momentum had been stopped.
And Justin Morgan breathes a little sigh of relief there, I think. Some go for you and some go against you. I think there he stopped probably, and that's, I think, why he has given. Well, and he was convinced that the referee got it right.
Well, he would be when he's seen it come up on board, no try. Boy, that is a real shake-up now for the Rovers.
Well, they were looking there at being 18-10 down, weren't they? Because that was right under the sticks. As so often happens in this game, teams go from one end of the field to the other, and we see a 12-point turnaround.
Yep.
Peter Fox to halfway on tackle number 3. There's a Warrington player down in back play to Mike Cooper. That's Briscoe. Here's another penalty for OKR.
Well, I think it's about time that the man with the whistle, Mr. Silverwood, just had a little word with Warrington. I mentioned the fact that they're trying to slow things down, which is obvious. They want to try to conserve energy. But it's getting to a point now where I think the officials should say, come on, Mr. Morley, have a little word with your side.
Well, you know, Hull Kings Rovers have probably just brought on, in my opinion, Eddie, their best player this season. Ben Gallier in number 12 has played large numbers of most of the games, in fact, and it's the first time I think I can recall him starting as a sub.
Yes, the first time he's ever appeared in the Super League as a substitute. Ben Gallier, been outstanding this year in 3 different positions. He got a couple of tries against Warrington at Murrayfield as well, if I remember.
Good work there by Briscoe. Just bobbled the first time. Little short run around. Nice little move. Didn't come off though.
Hazard. Good defence from Warrington again. 4 tackles gone, the 10 metres away. Fitzhenry and Dobson trying to get through. Nothing there. So last tackle.
Going to be a kick in the in-goal area. Try to get the drop out. Another set. That's not a bad kick, but it was well spotted, wasn't it, by Monaghan. That was super stuff by the number 7. The idea was good. Fitzhenry. But he was too quick, was Monaghan.
Came off his foot, Michael Monaghan. That's why Warrington have got this possession. 25 metres now away from their own try line.
That's Matthew Blythe going to play the ball. He's just coming from the centre. He struggled to get his hands on the ball a bit. He's the 7th player this season to play in the centres for Warrington. That's a tremendous number of players, week in, week out, changing without developing any real combination with the winger or the players around them to defend more than necessarily attack, Eddie.
Indeed so. Warrington are not
no, it's a great
showing any signs of feeling the pinch yet, are they?
No, but as I say, they're trying to slow it down. These are very, very good tactics.
Fitzhenry stepped inside Vinnie Anderson, but Monaghan was there.
He's got a problem, hasn't he?
This is Newton. And the run over Anderson, and does a wonderful run from Clint Newton, and a fabulous try from the second row. And he loved that. The Rovers coach absolutely loved it. And so did the vast majority of the crowd here. A great run. He ran straight over the top of Louis Anderson, just kept the legs pumping. And Clint Newton, one of the form players in Super League this year, and he has been ever present as well. This is a great try.
Certainly is. Came from the open side on the blind side, and as I say, they went far too high, tried to trip him up. He's more of a workhorse, is this fella, Clint Newton. He has been one of the best second rowers, and that is good upper body strength. The ball carrying arm was right. He used the one that didn't carry to fend off, and you can see him grinning and saying, boy, I'll talk about this for a while. Super effort.
Well, he got a try in the Cup against Warrington here early this season, try in the Magic weekend as well. Michael Dobson improves matters. It's 16-12 to Rovers.
And there's your 12-point turnaround, isn't it? He has been well for them. In fact, when him and Ben Gilly, I would say, as a combination, will be the best second-row partnership in Super League, and they really do offer so much. He hits the ball at pace, carries the ball through the line here, and then with no fullback, well, he's going to be unstoppable, isn't he? Good pace, outpaces Rahihi, and he just crashes close to the post, makes an easy kick.
You just can't quite see what Michael Dobson does. He puts himself in the way of Richie Mathers, so he's unable to catch Clint Newton, and it's a good, even though it's an individual try, Michael Dobson still added that little bit.
Yes, Dobson doing well, but Clint Newton's try and Dobson's goal giving Rovers the lead for the first time in the match. Just over half an hour gone. Fozzard straight at Mickey Hyam.
Full credit to Justin Morgan as well. He changed the tactics early in the first half. They were trying to get the ball out wide, trying to run Warrington off their feet. And then as soon as they brought Nick Fozzard on, they changed it. Let's go down the middle. Good, hard, solid work with the forwards, and it's certainly paying off.
Ben Galea. Let's go down to Rod.
Well, it's not all good news for Hull KR, Eddie. They have hit the front on the scoreboard, but a couple of injury problems for Justin Morgan's team. We saw Jake Webster pull up with a hamstring strain. He's got iced down the back of that hamstring, and Scott Morell's got a hand injury which is being iced up at the moment. So 2 players with a problem that aren't forced to be fit to continue in this game, even though they are 4 points in front.
A few problems off the field then for Justin Morgan. On the field, it's just turned around for them. 16-12. That's Ben Westwood for Warrington. He's Matty Blythe. Matty Blythe only 2 games since the win at Hull on May the 16th. Mitchell gets the ball away. Vinnie Anderson to Chris Riley. Cuts back inside. Colburn collars him. Last tackle for Warrington.
Got to be a good kick. Right corner, perhaps.
Breers went back on the inside looking for Mathers. That's a knock-on. It'll be the turnover.
Well, that surprised me. For a side that's come here to try to just slow things down, not get excited, that they'd gone for the power play. Richie Mathers, the fullback, had overrun that. The idea may have been good, but what was wrong with the high ball or the kick into the in-goal area?
But Lee Breers, most teams know you've got to put kick pressure on Lee Breers, because if you give him time and space, he can put it on a dime. And Lee Breers was probably looking for that Hulk player to come and commit himself and just give it Richie Mathers on the inside.
Cockayne will play the ball here to Fitzhenry. This is Netherton.
Come on, move, go.
Fitzhenry again. Dobson. Newton. Nearly
Ooh,
lost that.
He did lose it, but he got it back.
Lost the ball onto the Warrington player.
Always put it. I think he's got it down with a knock-on already.
Change it to a penalty. Come on, John. Change it to a penalty if you want. Wait. They'll be going back in and
That
grabbing his
whack
arm.
that you
Okay.
heard in the background is my colleague
Yeah, lads, come on. Nice and easy, pack it.
getting rid of a wasp.
Come to the rescue
Back it,
again.
lads.
Well done,
Look
my
after
friend.
him.
Well
Stay
done.
in.
I'll look after
Stay
you, don't
close,
worry.
yeah.
Yeah, about
Heads in.
time.
Well,
Ball in.
I couldn't allow Barry to chin you.
I'll go on.
We'll find another one, Barry, don't worry.
Go.
Well, the most important thing now is for Rovers not to just relax. Okay, they've taken the lead.
Hold.
But Warrington still have that power. They've got the skill factor out there. They can't afford to relax. They've got to make sure that they at least go in at half-time with a 4-point lead.
Move. Hold.
Rauhihi to his feet, plays it to Hyam. That was Cooper. I guess loses it. Picked up by Monaghan. It did go backwards. Oh, great offload there.
Did Cook get a hand to it? Obviously not, according to the official.
Hold. Go.
Hyam and Mathers sliding the kick down the line, looking for Chris Hicks. Briscoe to the rescue.
Tremendous play there by Briscoe. It was a neat kick into the corner as well. And the reason why it was good by Briscoe, as soon as he got the ball, he just launched himself to the ground. No opportunity to be picked up and taken over the whitewash. And there he is again. Oh, tremendous stuff.
He gets to do a lot of work, doesn't he? John Briscoe.
Lee. Come on.
Good hit on Colbon by Michael Monaghan.
Move.
Quick play the ball. Peter Fox. Last tackle.
Move.
Good work by the two wingers. First Colbon, then Fox. Put them in a good position to get the kick away, and it's a great kick.
It is a good kick. It was outside the 40, though. No chance of it going over the line anyway. Hicks has it for Warrington. 4 chasers have arrived. Huddersfield lead the Celtic Crusaders 6-0 after 4 minutes. These matches that we will see, the scores coming through tonight, of course, will finish after we go off air here tonight, so you can always pick them up via the Sky Sports website. And Sky Sports News, I'm sure, will be bringing you the news of the final scores. But at the moment, Huddersfield 6 up against Celtic.
Move. Go.
The Catalan Dragons
got away with
also
that.
playing tonight. Rauhihi has lost it on Dobson.
And he knows it. Dobson knew. Take that. It was try time. They'll still get head and feet. Still have plenty of time before the half-time hooter blows.
Last chance.
It wasn't the best pass. But Rauhihi was probably expected to take that.
A chance gone then for Rovers and Dobson.
Special move. Cook's feeding the scrum. Dobson's gone out wide.
Here's Chris Whelan. Goes up the middle. Pull down.
Inside the Briscoe of Dobson, will it be?
Fitzhenry.
2. Move. Go.
That was Netherton who played the ball to Fitzhenry. This is Dobson, short ball.
3.
Solid defence required by Matty Blythe. He came up with it to deny Ben Gallia. Dobson again finds Paul Cook. He gives it to Ben Cockayne. Cockayne bounces off one, still going. Eventually.
Did he lose it? Yes, knock on. Well spotted by the touch judge on this near side. He couldn't quite see it, Richard Silverwood. It was just a little bobble. That was it. It's enough to knock on.
Just a little one, mate.
Just lose it. Boy, good eyes. Touch judge this end.
Referee calls time off.
Time back on. Out.
Now, Vinnie Anderson. spins and gives it to Michael Monaghan. Wide it goes to Blythe, further wide to Chris Hicks. Inside Wellham, away from Cook. Can't get past Sean Briscoe though. Here's Blythe again.
That's wonderful work by the Wolves. So much enthusiasm when you think they'd be quite happy just to get into the sheds at half-time. They're looking for extra points.
Cooper, terrific run from Mike Cooper.
Great prospect, this kid.
He is brought to the club, of course, by his uncle. He's the nephew of Paul Cullen. This is Mickey Hyam. Monaghan waiting at dummy half. Newton disentangles himself. Richard Mathers. Oh, awful ball, carrying bounce, Wellham, but he's only got Rauhi behind him, and Wellham will go over for the try. Chris Wellham, only 22 years of age. Warrington forcing the pass, and Chris Wellham, well, the bounce was ever so kind for him. It's his 12th try of the year.
And I think he did almost exactly the same just before half-time when they last played here against St Helens. He has an ability to be in the right place and a player developing so well this season.
They try to force it, they try to go in with a lead at half-time. It wasn't the best pass, no chance for Westwood. And as soon as he took up the first attempted tackle, Wellham knew he was on his way underneath the sticks.
Well, there was only Paul Rauhi in pursuit, and he looks like he's running in wet cement, does Paul Rauhi.
Yeah. It's a huge blow to the Wolves, but a marvellous boost for the Rovers to go into the half-time break.
Dobson from bang in front, in the sunshine here in East Yorkshire. Makes no mistake from there, and Rovers turn around with a 22-12 advantage at half-time. Well, they won third place in the table. It would be their best finish for a quarter of a century.